The year 2020 will long be remembered for the coronavirus pandemic that caused over 3 million deaths. But it was also a time when other types of pathogens went viral. Bizarre conspiracy theories have been around for a while. The Illuminati, the New World Order, 9/11. But now they've reached epidemic levels as social, economic, and political unrest have increased. How is it that conspiracy theories continue their popularity? With an eye on the human condition, this is Insight. Names like QAnon and the Deep State either excite you or make you scratch your head. You might wonder why some people fall prey to false ideas that are plain nonsense on first hearing. Why do some so readily accept that an anonymous source giving out weird speculations really has a handle on the truth? Is it just another aspect of human nature? One aspect of our nature clearly does play a role, and that's the need for some to feel superior or to blame problems, real or perceived, on others. So, anti-Semitism is sometimes central to conspiracy theories. The classic case is the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. First published in 1903 as a series of articles, it was plagiarized from several earlier sources. Likely fabricated by Russian operatives, the work was said to be the outlines of a Jewish plan to rule the world. But by the early 1920s, the press in England and Germany had uncovered the fraud. Nevertheless, the Protocols book influenced German education in the subsequent Nazi period and is still in print and accepted as factual on internet conspiracy sites today. Political scientists Russell Muirhead and Nancy Rosenblum provide some insight as to why. They write, "For both people on the left and those on the right, classic conspiracism gives order and meaning to occurrences that in their minds defy standard or official explanations. It is conspiracy with a theory. And the problem goes far beyond anti-Semitism. Today, for example, we hear equally fictitious claims that the coronavirus pandemic itself was an invention, a left-wing plot promoted by the US Democratic Party to make the Republican president look bad, or by Big Pharma to take over the world by implanting identity markers within humans through vaccination. Cue Bill Gates' interest in vaccine development and the World Economic Forum's Great Reset, a plan to further global development through multilateral cooperation in the face of the pandemic. To save humanity from what was portrayed as a colossal deceit, true believers were assured that political saviors were already on the scene or waiting in the wings to lead the Great Awakening. If this sounds like a movie script, it's because it's got all the characteristics of one. A mixture of some fact and a lot of fiction, good and evil, money and power, heroes and villains. Why do people believe such fantastical ideas? In today's world, riven by differences of opinion, held proudly and expressed noisily, it's understandable that the human desire for unity or equilibrium should predispose us to look for unifying ideas, simpler times. Historian Anne Applebaum puts it this way: the emotional appeal of a conspiracy theory is in its simplicity. It explains away complex phenomena, accounts for chance and accidents, offers the believer the satisfying sense of having special, privileged access to the truth. Accordingly, some politicians have promoted phony conspiracies in their efforts to restore national pride and provide security in the face of imagined enemies. In the wake of the First World War, an embittered Adolf Hitler returned to civilian life in a massively dispirited Germany. The conflict had increased his extreme nationalist sentiments, and now he blamed the country's failure on Jews and Marxists. Imprisoned for his role in a 1923 attempt to gain control of Bavaria, he wrote the first volume of his autobiographical Mein Kampf, in which he endorsed the protocols of the Elders of Zion. He wrote, "With positively terrifying certainty, they reveal the nature and activity of the Jewish people and expose their inner context as well as their ultimate final aims." So it was that a forgery about a conspiracy contributed to the most heinous crime of a crazed dictator, the extermination of almost 6 million innocent Jewish men, women, and children. Extremism experts in Germany have noted local interest in the QAnon phenomenon. In some respects, it reminds them of the European anti-Semitism of medieval times, where the same ethnic group was singled out to blame for a nation's ills. As with the 20th century protocols, today's conspiracies are also directed at a supposed global elite out to control all people and things, and they often hark back to familiar themes and symbols. Viral photos of the 2021 assault on the US Capitol showed one mob member boldly wearing a sweatshirt that glorified Auschwitz, where more than 1 million died. Anti-Semitic apparel such as this, or bearing the acronym 6MWE, 6 million wasn't enough, is popular with neo-Nazis and other white supremacists. According to Muirhead and Rosenblum, conspiracism takes the form of bare assertion and innuendo. It dispenses with evidence and argument. It is embellished and spread through social media, and it is validated by sheer repetition. Conspiracy theories breed mistrust, encourage division, and promote violence. The perpetrator's stock in trade is misinformation, disinformation, rumor, and fear-mongering in order to gain a loyal following or to stir people to a desired action. The tendency to resort to these tactics to discredit an opposing party or viewpoint is troubling. Yet increasingly we see this approach being employed by some who have a platform from which to broadcast and endlessly repeat their deceits. Perhaps we shouldn't be surprised then that according to Muirhead and Rosenblum, this new conspiracism has many adherents, some gullible, some sinister. The world will never be rid of the evils that flourish in conspiracy's poisonous soil without inoculation of a different kind, one that protects the mind against partiality, inequity, injustice, and hatred. To learn more about the antidote, visit our website at vision.org and search for The Path to Change. For Insight, I'm David Hume.